Have you ever pondered upon the concept of justice? Can it be measured, or is it an intangible entity? Imagine a world where every action has a consequence, where virtue and vice are weighed on an unerring scale. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? Now, what if we told you that such a world exists, not in reality, but in the brilliant mind of one of the greatest playwrights of all time, William Shakespeare? Let's delve into the intriguing world of Shakespeare's Measure for Measure to find some answers. Our journey begins in Vienna, a city ruled by Duke Vincentio, a place where order and balance are maintained under his just rule. But change is on the horizon. Duke Vincentio, a man of wisdom and integrity, decides to take a leave of absence, entrusting the city's governance to his deputy, Angelo. Angelo, a seemingly virtuous and strict law-abiding man, is seen as the perfect fit for the role. But there's more to Angelo than meets the eye. Alongside these two key figures, we're introduced to Isabella, a virtuous novice nun, and her brother, Claudio, a young gentleman of Vienna. These characters are set to play pivotal roles in the events to unfold. With the Duke's departure and Angelo's ascension, the city holds its breath, waiting to see what the future holds. Little did they know, this change in power would bring the city to a standstill. Angelo, with his newly acquired power, started ruling with an iron hand. Angelo's new rule was marked by a swift change in the wind. This was no longer the lenient Vienna that folks were accustomed to. The city had come to know a new master, and he was stern and unyielding. The laws that had been gathering dust in the books were now being enforced with a firm hand. But what does it mean to govern with an iron hand, you might ask? Well, let's look at the story of Claudio. Claudio, a young gentleman of Vienna, found himself in a predicament. He had impregnated his beloved Juliet before they were officially wed. A minor transgression in the eyes of many, perhaps, but not in the eyes of Angelo. Under the stringent law enforcement of Angelo, this act of love between two consenting adults was seen as a crime, a violation of the city's fornication laws. The punishment, nothing less than death. Yes, you heard right. Death for a crime of passion. A harsh rule indeed. Now, enter Isabella, Claudio's sister, a young novice on the verge of taking her vows to become a nun. When she heard of her brother's predicament, she was thrust into a world of moral dilemmas and heartbreaking choices. She decided to plead for her brother's life, to stand up against the unforgiving rule of Angelo. Isabella, with her heart full of hope and fear, approached Angelo. She pleaded with all her might for mercy, for understanding, for compassion. But Angelo, unmoved by her pleas, remained steadfast in his decision. He was determined to uphold the law, no matter the cost. In this world of rigid law enforcement, where love was a crime and mercy a forgotten virtue, Isabella was left with a difficult choice. A choice that would test her morality, her love for her brother, and her faith in justice. In the face of Angelo's rigid law enforcement, Isabella was left with a difficult choice. Meanwhile, Duke Vincentio was not really far away, observing everything in disguise. Now, let's dive deeper into this fascinating plot twist. Our Duke, you see, had been disguised as a friar, a humble man of faith, silently witnessing the chaos and injustice that had taken hold of Vienna under Angelo's rule. The Duke, being a wise and cunning ruler, had a plan up his sleeve. He manipulated the events from behind the scenes, moving the pieces on the chessboard of Vienna, all while maintaining his friar facade. It was a game of power and deceit, a dance of masks, and Duke Vincentio was leading the waltz. But why, you might ask, did the Duke go to such lengths? Well, it was to expose Angelo's hypocrisy, to show the people of Vienna the true face of their self-proclaimed moral paragon. The Duke, through his intricate scheme, managed to bring Angelo's misdeeds to light, revealing his true character to all. But that's not all. Amidst this whirlwind of manipulation and exposure, the Duke found something unexpected, a connection with the virtuous Isabella. Inspired by her strength and dedication, the Duke made a shocking proposal to her. He offered her his hand in marriage, a gesture that, considering the circumstances, was as surprising as it was touching. And so, the plot reached its resolution. Angelo was exposed, the Duke revealed his true identity and proposed to Isabella. The city of Vienna, once a stage for hypocrisy and injustice, was now on the path to reform and righteousness. The Duke, with his unconventional methods, managed to restore balance, ensuring that justice was served. But here's the million-dollar question. Was the justice served perfectly measured, or was it tainted with the Duke's personal biases and desires? Thus, justice was served, but was it measured? This is something we'll continue to ponder as we delve deeper into the complexities of Shakespeare's Measure for Measure. We navigated through the twisted lanes of Vienna, witnessed power, deceit, and a quest for justice. This journey, full of intrigue and suspense, has led us to question our understanding of justice, power, and morality. At the heart of it all is the concept of measure for measure. Shakespeare's play is not just a tale of power and deceit, but a probing exploration of what justice means. Does justice mean an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, or does it mean something more profound? The play invites us to reflect on this, asking if justice is merely a transactional concept or if it is a moral principle that should guide our actions. In the corridors of power in Vienna, we saw how power can corrupt and how the quest for justice can sometimes lead to unexpected outcomes. Angelo's rule, the Duke's return, all these elements of the story highlight the complexities of justice and morality. But perhaps the most compelling question the play raises is about our own measures. What measures are we willing to take in the pursuit of justice? Are we ready to compromise our morals, or should we uphold them regardless of the consequences? In the end, it's not just about measuring justice, but also about the measures we are willing to take for it. Do like, share, and subscribe our channel